Good morning, everyone. It is October 28th, class 4 for KIT Iizuka campus. 4C, sorry, not 6C, 4C, second period. And I will be recording this and putting this on the Moodles for both second period and third period, but this is being recorded in second period. Righty, here's the class description. Always try to read that before you come in. And we will have this recorded Moodle explanation right here after it's done. I'll probably have this loaded up for second period by around the middle of lunchtime, and by maybe, I don't know, 3 o'clock for third period. We're going to be studying verbal phrases. We'll be doing verbal phrases for maybe a couple of classes in our practices for speaking. But a verbal phrase, by the way, if you click this, you're going to be going to a website that I will show you right now, right here. And this is a really good explanation of verbal phrases, okay? Basically, a verbal phrase is anything that's just about a properly made sentence with a subject, a verb, and an object. So you have very simple verb phrases like, your camera takes fantastic pictures. That's a verb phrase. So don't be too intimidated by the idea of a verbal phrase. Basically, a verbal phrase is a correct sentence. Now, it can get more complicated if you have more verbs. For example, if you have modal verbs, you have be plus ing, and all of these different types of verb constructions. But basically, if you just look at a verb phrase, something like prices rose, she will understand. All of these are verbal phrases, and then it just gets more complicated from there. But basically, it's just the idea of a grammatically correct sentence that has a verb in it. All right. And the builders had arrived, or the builders arrived even, would be a proper phrase. Now, all of this, I want you to read this because this is something that's going to be important for your test well, that'll be in February. Okay. Now, I know that this looks really hard, and I'm very sorry about the ads, but it's a very, very good explanation, very simple explanation that I think you guys can understand. Now, let's go back to Moodle. Okay. You have your homework. Okay. Number 1 for chapter 3. This is the very first homework that we're going to do. So you basically look at the homework inside chapter 3 on pages 25 to 26. And I'll show you that a little bit later, but pages 25 to 26, fill in those blanks, listen to the DVDs. Okay. Don't forget that we have the in general class information. We have all of the, there it is. The working in Japan videos are right here. If you click here, okay, you'll be able to go to the working in Japan video, and you'll be able to see the unit 3 videos. You'll need that to do your homework here in class 4. Okay, so do your homework from chapter 3, pages 25 to 26, and that will be due on Saturday night on October 30th, okay? Oh, and by the way, the Saturday night on October 30th, there's a very good chance that the Moodle might not be working sometimes on Saturday night at October 30th. So if you have a problem on Saturday night, okay, to access the Moodle, don't worry, try to access it on Sunday or try to access it on Monday, okay? And I'll try to look at that in the long run and not give you any assignment problems with that, but there might be a chance that the Moodle might be down on Saturday night. I just heard about that myself. Okay, your reading quiz is up. Okay, and this will be due next Thursday. So your reading quiz is basically the same article that we did last week. Last week was class 3. That was your listening quiz. Now in class 4, it's the same article, but it'll be based on a reading quiz. So please take this reading quiz, get it done by November 4th. We have another reflection exercise, and we're going to be talking about Google Translate. Okay. Now, some of you already know about Google Translate, and I think it's just an amazing thing. For example, if we look at that website that we were just looking at before on simple verb phrases, if you didn't understand this web page, okay, you could just copy this whole thing, okay, and have Google Translate translate it for you. Let me show you how. Okay, so here's Google Translate, and this is your reflection exercise, but let's look at Google Translate first. So Google Translate here, okay, you can just take any language. For example, that phrase that I copied here, I'm going to copy now, okay, Command C, copy, and go back to Google Translate, and I'm just going to paste it here. And it sees that this is in English, okay? See, it's detect language, it detected English, but if you need to click a different language, click up here English. Then I can change this to any language I want. If I wanted to change it to Spanish, I can change it to Spanish. If I wanted to change it to Arabic, I can change it to Arabic. But especially me, I need to know things in Japanese. So I just choose Japanese, and there it is. Isn't that amazing? Now, you can also take individual words like here, this one right here, okay? And you can have the software actually say it out loud for you.
Verb phrase. Verb phrase.
This is fantastic for actually studying words. You can practice your pronunciation if you wanted to practice this whole sentence, okay?
A verb phrase consists of a main verb alone, or a main verb plus any modal and or auxiliary verbs. The main verb always comes.
You can stop that, but I still think it's just amazing, okay? And then for me, I can do the same thing with the Japanese.
動詞は主動詞のみ、または主動詞と補助動詞およびまたは
So for me, this is fantastic stuff. And you can turn this in the other direction. If I wanted to turn this into English, I could come over here, paste that in here, and it'll detect the language as Japanese. Then I can change this to English. And there it is. It turned it right back around. It's pretty much the same English that it was before. I think that's just absolutely amazing how technology has made it so that then we don't really need to worry too much about all the little bits of grammar that it comes with writing. But there's a bit of a discussion about that. If there is Google Translate, then why should we study English? Well, there's going to be a discussion about that I'm going to have with you after I finish this recording. And what I want you to do is listen to what I say, okay? What did Mr. Cruz say about what is important when using Google Translate? And I want you to remember this, and then in your own way, okay, write 2 paragraphs about what I said, because I'm going to be speaking for at least 3 or 5 sentences, okay? And the idea is that you take that and you do the reflection. And as always, you put in your submissions here, okay? So basically, you have your homework submission and your reading quiz and your reflection for your Google Translate as your assignments. Oh, and Google Translate, the reflection is, as always, is tonight. Okay, got to get that in by tonight, by 11 p.m. tonight, okay? Otherwise, let's discuss Class 4 a little bit more after this Moodle explanation, but thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week, okay?